Hi, it's Tego Venturi with the Venturi team and Keller Williams Realty here in beautiful Albuquerque, New Mexico, looking at some market stats on housing in our Albuquerque area. We're looking at February. It's early March, so it's time. It's time to look at this. So February 2019, what happened in the housing market, as well as, so I'm going to go through inventory, supply versus demand, as well as prices and where prices are and where I see them possibly going, as well as a few other tidbits about what's going on in the housing market. If you're thinking of buying, thinking of selling, just some good information to kind of tuck away in your brain. And of course, if you ever want to deep dive into what's going on in the housing market in Albuquerque, reach out to us. So let's go. I'm going to start right here. This is a number we don't talk about very often, usually doesn't come out in any of the news sources or stuff like that. And want to bottom out on one thing real clear here as we start this. We're looking at greater Albuquerque area only, so kind of what we consider metro Albuquerque, suburban Albuquerque, whatever you want to call it, but basically, you know, the main housing area around Albuquerque. We're looking at resale properties only. Have this broken down by total market in the light blue here. Green is luxury market. Red is, and I'm sorry, I say luxury, 600 and above. This one's 4 to 6. This one is 2 to 4, and then this is 200 and under, which is our median price. But what we're looking at here is total dollar volume real estate sold, 158.4 million in real estate sold. That's in February, which is traditionally our slowest month of the year for closed sales. So a lot of activity. I mean, there really is, and you can see that's a 12% increase over last year. But let's actually look at the units. And so this is a number of homes sold, 680 versus 663 last February. So we had a 2.6% increase. Moderate gain. And what you're going to see here, though, is in that lower price point, this 200 under price point, it's actually down 6%. We saw the biggest increase in that 2 to 4 price range, and that's really just because people are having to move up over 200 because we're not finding as many homes. So let's talk about that. So let's talk about the number of homes for sale. Actually, let me just look at one of the things. So closed sales up slightly, pending sales up 10% over last year. You can see there was a big increase in that luxury market, 34%, and 34 also in that 400 and above, and only 11% here, and then even less increase in that lower price point. But those homes are still moving. But if you look at the number of homes for sale, the inventory is down again, 26% less than last February. If you look at it on I'm going to do this as a rolling 12 months, and you can see, you know, overall over the last 12 months, 21% less inventory than the year prior. But look at this, for that 200 and under, 43% less homes on the market, almost half. There was 850 last February, and there's only 400, or were only 482 on the market then. So, you know, the story is closed sales are up slightly, pending sales are up almost 10%. The for sale homes, the number of homes on the market, down 26% overall. In that 200 and under, it's 40 right here, 43%. And then new listings, if we look at the number of new listings coming on the market, you can see that's also down. It's 10% less. And again, in that 200 and under, 18% less. So, wow, that was a really long way to say that 200 under price point, high demand, not as, you know, not much inventory based on the buyers. And if we look at the month supply of inventory, which is our kind of the way we look at supply versus demand, and we can see in that 200 and under 1 month supply, which means really if no new homes came on the market this month in March, for example, and whatever the number was, 400 and something sold, there'd be 0 homes for sale. So very, very tight market in that lower. You can see as you go up in price point, there's more and more supply versus demand. So 2.2 months, 2.2 month supply, 3 month supply, 6 month supply over 600,000. So really, if it's kind of a tale of two markets in the sense that kind of median below, high demand, low supply, 600 and above, the luxury market. Good supply, decent demand, kind of a balanced market. You get up over, 900, a million. There's actually quite a bit on the market versus the number of buyers out there. So let's just look at prices real quick. Let's see, how long have I gone? We're at 5 minutes. We're at 5 minutes. Okay. I'm trying to go fast here. I know these things are hard to watch, but I want to just get all this data out there for folks. So looking at price per square foot. Price per square foot, I like to look at it because it's a good indicator of kind of price movement. If you look at, I've got average price and median price here, and you can see that, yeah, average price is up 10%, but that's average, right? And we already know by looking at the other stats there that more homes in the higher price point are selling in the lower end. So it's going to drive the average up. But if we actually wanted to know, like, okay, how much are homes overall in the entire market appreciating, price per square foot is a nicer, I think a better stat to look at for that. So if we look at February versus February, we're up 3.4% in price per square foot. But let's look at it this way. So if we look at this price per square foot number, and we look at the movement over a 12-month period, so that's last March through this, last February, we had a 4.3% movement in price per square foot. That's across all price ranges. But you can see if you look at like the lower, again, the 200 and under, almost 6%. This 2 to 4, about 1.6, 0.6. Actually, the higher end, 2.6. But, so when we see stats come out from, the plethora of different people that put out stats on what's going on in a particular market, they're going to give you a big number, may not even be as focused as this, meaning just the Albuquerque area. But you can see, yes, plus 4%. But does that mean if you have $1 million house, it went up 4% last year? Probably not, but if you're in that 200 and under, yeah, it may have, and maybe more than that. Maybe it's more than like 6% increase. So it really just depends. Like we saw earlier, the demand is in that 200 and under price range. But let me just say one thing about that. And we've been seeing that here on our team, and we have buyers that are waiting for the right house to come on the market. And what's happening is, yeah, there's 400, 500 homes available on the market in that under 200 price range. However, they're not the right houses. So buyers are still being somewhat picky. They're not just going to buy anything like, let's say 2007. That's kind of how it was then. We were, things were just kind of like anything that came on the market was selling. Buyers are still being picky. They still want the right house. They want it priced to the market. They're not going to overpay. I mean, yes, they'll pay over listing if it's a great house in a great area and it's very competitive for a home like that. Then yes, sometimes they get bid up, but we don't see that a lot. So, the takeaway is, if you're a buyer, be ready to move on it and get the offer in right away when the right home does come on the market. And if you're a seller, you still have to have the home ready. You still have to make it look good. And if you, to optimize your return on the home when you sell it, it's got to be looking good. It's got to be clean. It's got to be priced to the market. You can't get ahead of the market, because then you'll turn off those first buyers that come out and look at it. So just some thoughts on what's going on. Hope this helps. If you need any help with your real estate, and actually data in particular, I'm the guy. If not, you want to reach out and talk to us about what your home may be worth or what's going on in the market, just let us know. Thanks.